Hey everyone, welcome to another episode. Let's jump into the month of August together. We've got 5 Wednesdays together this month, and so we're going to go through a topic that is timeless. It is something that we talk about regularly here at Legend Leaders, and ultimately, it is exactly what we help you achieve, right? So if you think about it, the key thing that I share with you on a regular basis is that we exist to help you create the professional success that you desire so that you can have the personal freedom that you deserve, right? And I say that in a lot of different ways, right? The professional success is all about career success and being the executive that you're meant to be, right? And the personal freedom is living life on your terms, or what we call a legend life, right? So in all the episodes that you've heard me and all the conversations that I've had, and everything that we train about, this whole mini series is going to dive into the fundamentals of what we teach you here at Legend Leaders. And it's all about adding value, because in order to create that professional success, you must add value. How do you add value? Well, you follow the one rule. That's the one rule that we created here at Legend Leaders. You must always add value in order to be successful. And what does that look like? Well, when you add value, what do you become? You become an irreplaceable asset. So again, everything that we teach you, everything that we want you to do, every way that we want you to succeed so that you can have professional success and personal freedom, all of that happens because you add value. It's the floor, it's the foundation for which you build everything else on. And so I'm excited to talk about that with you through this month of August, as we go through, get ready, wrap up the summer, have those last little mini vacations. Hopefully you can listen to me while you're out on the beach or maybe riding in the car. But we're going to wrap up the summer and kick off the fall school season, or, whatever it is that you're stepping into, whether you're a parent or not, by adding value. So that said, let's dive into the second piece of today's conversation, because adding value is first and foremost, we have to understand not only how do we add value, but before we learn how to add value, we have to understand what is valuable. And in order to understand that, we have to ask the question, well, who defines value? Who defines value for us? Do you get to define value? Do I get to define value? Who writes the definition? And so when we're speaking of business, and we're talking about the business world, the person or individuals who define value, it's the customer. The customer defines value. If you own a business, let's pretend that you're an entrepreneur and you own a business. Well, the customer votes for you with their dollars, right? That's how I always like to say it. The customer votes for you with their dollars. So if they're voting for you, they're giving you their money. Well, why are they voting for you? Because they see you as valuable. You have something that they need, and therefore they're going to pay for that, and they're going to exchange money for the value that you provide to them. All right. So the customer defines value. Let's just go ahead and align on that right now. That's who defines it. Now, as an employee, as an executive, as a professional, as a leader, whatever level of employee that you are, but in this instance, you're probably an executive because that's who I serve. At the executive level, your customer is the company. The company that you work for is your customer. You're showing up, you're providing a service, meaning you're showing up and you're being strategic, and you're providing insight, and you're providing leadership, and you're using all your skills and talents and gifts. That's your service to the organization, and they pay you for that service, right? So the organization or the company is your customer. That's critical to understand. So who defines value? Customer. As an employee, who is your customer? The company. Perfect. So let's put it together. Who defines value in your world? Your company does. Well, how do they define value? How do you understand what your company values? Well, it's in your job description. It's in the metrics and questions and assessment portion of your performance review. And it's in the targets of your annual bonus. Okay. It's those 3 components primarily that the company uses to define what it values. It says, hey, if you do these things, your job description, right, then you will have successfully performed in your job. The company says, if you do exceptionally well on these performance measures, then you will have been deemed performing successfully in the role, right, on your performance review. And therefore, we'll probably give you a pay raise, right? We're going to reward you for performing. Same with your bonus. Hey, these actions and behaviors are valuable to us. If you will help deliver these financial targets or customer interaction or customer service or whatever it is, depending upon your role, if you will help the company deliver these things, then we will reward you monetarily for that. That's how they define value. It's very clear. Job descriptions, performance assessment questions and components, and the targets that are on your annual bonus. That's how they define value. So my question to you, and the key thing I want you to dive into this week is, are you adding value? Yes or no? We don't hem-haw around, don't hold back, don't think, well, maybe I might. No, it is very, very clear. Look at those 3 components that the company provides to you and be very transparent and honest with yourself. We're going to face reality here. Are you adding value or are you not? If you're adding value, then probably the next question you're going to ask is, well, how do I raise the bar? How do I go next level? And we'll spend the rest of the month talking about that. Okay. If the answer to the question is, oh, man, I don't think so. I'm looking at these components. I'm looking at these key pieces, the 3 components that you just called out, Katrina, and I'm not doing so great. Okay. Well, then we're going to spend the rest of the month not only seeking to understand how we get off track and how we start wanting to define value on our terms instead of understanding what the company's defining and following their terms. And then we're going to get ourselves on track and we're going to add value so that by the end of the month, whether you're already adding it and you want to add more, or you're not adding value and you must add value, because we all know what happens when we stop adding value. We no longer get to stay with the organization, right? So we don't want that. We want you to keep adding value. We want you to have professional success. And so by the end of the month, you're going to very clearly understand how to do that, what that looks like, while we get off track so that you don't get off track. Either if you're off track, we get you back on, or we prevent you from doing that in the future. And then we build some momentum. So again, you can have that professional success. So I look forward to connecting with you. I look forward to working through this throughout the rest of the month. I would tell you that if you've already listened to this episode and you're like, oh gosh, I can't wait. I need answers now. I need some clarity. Or maybe you've got some questions about your level of adding value and you need some specific answers. You have very specific questions related to you and you need specific answers. Then I'll drop a link in this episode. Go ahead and hit it, schedule some time on my calendar, and let's just talk through it. Okay? That's what I'm here for. As always, go and be legendary.